Hi there. All right, welcome today. Hi, Kelda.
Hi.
Hi.
So welcome today. We're going to start this session now. Everything's recorded so people can rewatch later on. So we're today with the Family Playrooms from Bromley by Borough Centre, and we're having a Q&A with an expert. So today's session will be about person-centered active support, how to empower children with additional needs, additional and complex needs. And so Alia Janath is a carer, and she's going to introduce herself and also present a little bit more about person-centered active support. Welcome, Alia.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, guys. So my name is Alia, and I'm a carer. My daughter has complex needs, and I've been running this workshop with professional for about 3 years now, person-centered active support. And so I'm one of the first parents in town to be running this with the professionals. So let's get started. So I'm going to be talking about some background about PCAS, where it came from. So PCAS was developed originally for the adult population as an approach for staff working with adults and developmental disability, based on the belief that everyone is entitled to a good quality of life, to be able to interact with people and do the regular things we all do on the day-to-day basis. So we're also going to be talking about the importance of engagement in a meaningful activity and social relationship. So we're going to be talking about the importance of engagement in meaningful activity and the social relationships. PCAS focuses on the ways we can help support children to take part. It's not about developing skills. It also has been acknowledged that in the past, the children with learning disabilities were given limited support and opportunities to take part in everyday day-to-day activities. Very often children were just left there to watch what's going on around them. They didn't do much, like the washing up, making meal, getting involved with the simple tasks. So they were just left sitting there. But also, our body and our mental well-being, we spend 90% of our day engaging in activities and interaction. So that's what we do, 90%. Can you imagine? So now we'll be talking about what do we mean by meaningful activity. Activities are purposeful and should be age appropriate. Activity that we would typically be expected to do as part of being a family, being part of a community, or going to school or work. So let me see if I want to add anything else. So it just, having something to do is meaningful activity also is a child feels loved, some choice and control over what is going on in the world around them. So that's the what do we mean by meaningful activity. And the next one, we are going to be talking about my personal experience of PCAS. That's my favorite. So 3 years ago, I was invited to a workshop, person-centered active support. My daughter goes to Stephen Hawking School. It's a special school. And so I went to the workshop and I did workshop and kind of thought to myself, well, what am I going to do with her? That's not something like something that I don't think she can do, because she's visually impaired. So what can she do? And then I remember being asked, so what do you do with Khadija when she comes from school? And I said, well, the first thing I make her is porridge. That's the first thing I do with her. And so then I was asked, so, I mean, break down the task. What do you do when the first thing before making the porridge? So thinking, okay, I'll get the bowl, I'll get the spoon, I'll get the milk, and etc. And so then I had to break the task down. Okay, what can she do and what can I do, and what things can we do together? So for example, she can't pour the milk into the bowl. She can't put the porridge into the bowl. So I did those things, and Khadija would stir the porridge, and then we do hand-to-hand activities. So I do a lot of activities with my daughter, or hand-on-hand activity. And so that's something we did together. And then I put it in the microwave, and she pressed the button, and the microwave, it makes this sound, and it stops. It makes ding, and she knows it stops. She was listening to the microwave sound, and when it stopped, she, it's her impression on her face. She knows, there's something making sound, and now it stopped. But so I've been doing this with Khadija, and it's changed a lot. I do so many things with Khadija at home. Her brother does so many things with her as her home as well, a lot of activities, and I get her involved on little things at home, which I never thought that she could do, because she's visually impaired, and that was it. That's how I saw it. But actually, you know what? She's got this ability and skills, even though they might not be all of it, but she can do some. So for me, that's my personal experience of PCAS. And yeah, that's it. And then we are going to be talking about activity, thinking about ourselves. So having something done for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you were unable to engage or involve with an activity? I think it can be anything. Anything really is. For me, it's I love using my treadmill, and that is something I need to do. It keeps me active. It keeps, if it's just really it's when I'm under a lot of stress, when I go on the treadmill, I feel really, I don't know, but this might sound a bit weird, I feel relaxed. And I guess we all have different things that keeps us helps us with our stress and everything. But so going back to the question, so for me it's my treadmill. And there were times where I became really unwell, where I couldn't use the treadmill. So I felt really down when I couldn't use the treadmill. It was frustrating, not able to do that, because that's something I enjoyed, and it's about me. I'm a carer, so if I put that carer role aside and do something for myself, but I couldn't do that, so it was very upsetting. So also thinking about those activities. How do you feel like? How did you feel like? So not being in control, anxious, upset, feeling isolated. So not all of them might be related to my treadmill, but these are some of the things like you feel if you couldn't wasn't able to interact or engage, rejected, feeling down, failure, loss of motivation. That's what I had, frustration and anger, low confidence. Yeah, so the next question is, why do we think being able to participate is important to you, or what difference does it make being able to actively participate? So there are things like more in control, more prepared, more independent, more feeling part of the same life as everyone, feeling part of things going on, have more skills, less inappropriate behavior, being a better relationship with others. So these are some of the things that it's important or makes a difference, you know, to be able to actively participate. So yeah, so thinking about this, is there any different for children with disabilities? Do they need to have things to engage in, roles to fulfill, and people to do things with? We know being inactive affects our physical and mental health. So just thinking about, you know, if we weren't able to do anything, and is same for the children with disability, learning disability, physical disability. It's exactly the same thing for them. Yeah, so next is we are going to talk about the 4 principles of PCAS. Can I get that on the, yeah. So PCAS has 4 principles of PCAS. There are every moment has potential, little and often, graded assistance, maximizing choice and control. So you don't need to make special time or create special time to do an activity. It's every, I mean, it's a date, it's any activity, it's something that's happening right now. For example, there are things like uploading the shopping from the bag, holding basket while taking out the laundry, setting the table, feeding the cat, paying the shopkeeper, sorry. Yeah, and little and often, it's not about the whole activity. It's just letting the person join, couple of seconds, not much. I mean, doing something can, for the first time, can be daunting. For any of us, it can be daunting. So the concept of letting the young person join for a short time, just seconds, it really does help. I mean, just things like touching the Hoover, approaching to watch and offering a spoon to hold several times before they try to take it. There are things like starting to pull an item from the washing machine and you finish. Yeah, and then the next one is graded assistant. Support young person to success and engage. All activities can be broken down. I don't know if you remember, I talked about my personal experience and how I broke the activity down. So it was things like Khadija and me doing it together, things what Khadija can do on her own and what we can do together, and then you would do break it down as, you know, what do you need? The spoon, bowl, porridge, milk, what else? Sugar. And so you break the task down. Or like, shall I do it? We can do it together, or the young person do it. Find the type of help the young person's likes. That's quite a good one. I guess it also depends on, every child is different when it comes to the complex needs or the ability. Some children need a lot of hand-to-hand support. Some children might not need that much support. So it depends on individual child, really. So yeah, the next one is yeah, and then there's some examples. There are having ingredients pre-measured. That's one thing I did. Is quite a good one. Using pre-cut cheese slice instead of block of cheese. Putting items to be used as accessible height. So these are just some of the stuff that you can be doing to break the task down. And then it's the last one is maximizing choice and control, allowing the young person to make a choice and have control over some aspects of the activity. Feeling in control of what's happening helps to feel confident to get involved. Making decision helps us to feel respected and in control in our lives. So I think that's really important to be aware. So being given choices builds up feeling of control, and throughout our daily activities are opportunities to make choices and builds up experience of being a decision maker. And then there are examples. Would you like to drink orange or milk? Which t-shirt would you want to wear, red or white? Shall we tidy up the Lego or the train set first? So it's just giving them that choice and control. Choice and control of the activity. Yeah. So yeah, that's all my.
That sounds great.
PCAS.
Yeah, thank you, Alia. Is it okay if we ask you a few questions now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned at the beginning something about making sure that the activities are age appropriate. So how do you make sure, how do you identify which activities are okay for which age? Is there a tip for that?
Sorry, yeah. So I think it depends on the individual child. I know it says age appropriate. Also, you have to look at the child needs. Like a 7-year-old child would set the table up, get the plates on the table, put the plates on the table, so it's that's what you would expect from a 7-year-old child. But I think it's if you have a child with more complex needs, then you have to look at, okay, it's not the age appropriate, but they weren't able to take the plate to the table, but they can if you give a plate on their hand, they can put it on the table.
So it's very much about knowing your child
yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, for my daughter, I'm just giving another example. My daughter is 9 years old, and for a 9-year-old child would go and grab a cup from the kitchen and bring it to the living room. But what I do with Khadija is she can't walk, so I want her to be part of that activity when it comes to family meals. So I like to give that cup to Khadija. She has her own little chair with her tray, and I give that cup to her, and she puts it on the table. This is, I want her to be part of that family in a meal, to be involved as well. So that's an example how I use PCAS.
That's great. Kelda, you want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't hear you anymore. You muted yourself.
Oh, I muted. I went the other way. I was no, thank you so much. It's really brilliant to hear, and it's so simple, and yet I think it must always get missed out because you're trying to help, but you don't realize that actually stepping back and then enabling somebody else. And I think it is because it's a mindset thing where we're not used to breaking down what we're doing, because we're just getting on with it. And actually, if you step back and go, oh, this is what I did, there are ways in. I was interested about what you said about your son. Is he older or younger than your daughter?
No, he's older, so he's 13 years old.
And has he taken on board then, because if he's quite a bit older, the way you're doing stuff, or do you learn from him how he relates
before
to her?
before I got involved with PCAS, my son used to be, what can Khadija do? She's visually impaired, she can't do anything. And when my son saw I was using PCAS at home, and he said to me, how's she gonna do that? She can't do that. She can't stir the porridge in the bowl. Khadija can't, she can't pick the toys up from put in the box. And he saw that I was doing it with the activity with Khadija, and now he has followed that on. So his relationship with his sister has changed a lot. How he interacts with his sister. He doesn't see, oh, I have a sister with this disability, and she's not unable. He sees beyond that now. And it has changed so much, their relationship. And I hope that answered your question.
No, that's what I was wondering, if that had really strengthened it and given a new way of looking.
It's like hospital appointments, and I was feeding and medication, it's a routine, it's one after another thing, constantly, and you don't think about other things. You don't have time to think about anything else. And when I was telling the workshop, what can you do? It's just take a step back and see what can your child can do. Forget about the she has this disability. Your child. And when I saw that, it just changed a lot for me, my thinking, and I do so much with her, and life is just better for me. So
and she's happier as a result.
Yes, that's the other thing. Khadija is happier because she's engaging in a lot of things. Before, she was sitting there not doing much, and she was getting bored, but she wasn't able to express that. I want to do something, so so she's more happier. She's engaging in the schools. I've noticed things as well. She likes to do it. They do PCAS as well in school. They're cooking, baking. So and they said to me, no, she likes stirring. She's like stirring the bowl, whatever they do. So
This is great. And so you mentioned that she wasn't able to express herself before, and did you notice a change now? Does she express herself more in terms of what she wants to be doing, or how?
So I found, because she can only say 3 words.
Okay.
and she's not able to express herself, well, apart from screaming and crying, but she's in herself. I mean, you know, just I know, and she loves when I get her involved, getting her to put the crisp from a packet into the bowl, and she likes that. Yes, she wants to throw it, but she knows, hey, mum's letting me do something. I can hear the crisp packet.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's not able to express it in words.
Yeah.
It's just I see it in her.
Mm-hmm.
And
That makes sense.
and it does sound like the visual impairment is compensated for with a much stronger sense of the hearing, and so that is the strength that you build on, because that she can.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And so obviously you mentioned that you know, it's about, you know, your child and you know what they can and cannot do, but how do you make sure you don't help too much, going back to that how, you know, how do you find that balance between supporting and kind of doing for them?
So I think it's you know, you don't want to give them that too much help, but that you want them to do it on your own. So finding the balance is just have a goal with an activity. Just set an activity, you know, something you do, and you don't have to make anything special or extra. You just do make, and are setting up, and getting the dishwasher, getting the dishes out, and ask your child, you want to help me get the dishes out? You know, they might want to, they might not, but you just have to experiment. I think you just have to see what it is that they want to do, or they might not want to. I mean, I've worked with so many parents, and I've seen it. Every child is different, and you know, a lot of parents say that, how do you know? But you know your child the best. And they're you know, we had children who like cooking, but the parents don't want to give the child, you know, because they don't want the child to go in the kitchen, but the child likes cooking. So when the parent finally let the child go in the kitchen, help them make something, they found that balance. Okay, what can I do? You just have to explore and see what your child want to do, what they are capable of.
Yeah, it's all about trying then. That's interesting. And how do you motivate a child that, you know, might not feel capable, or how do you, you know, make them feel that they can do things? If you know.
I mean, we have to remember, we can't force anybody to do anything, especially children with additional needs or complex needs. So I mean, if you're doing something and your child's there, them just seeing and watching you, that's a start. You can ask them, would you like to come and help me set the table? Would you like to help me feed the cat? That's a start, just asking them. So yeah.
Great. Yeah. I think very good tip about watching you do things and learning like that.
And keeping it simple, I'm imagining that's also really key.
Yes.
Because then everyone feels like they succeeded, whereas if it's too challenging, you can end up feeling like bad.
Yeah, I mean, there are some videos on YouTube, person-centered active support, but they're adults. Don't think they have ones on the YouTube for children. But I mean, there's a video of a young man who's got autism, and he was sitting on the table with this carer, and the carer was peeling the potato. So the young man was there sitting, and he was just sitting there. And so he started peeling the potato. Then he put it on the table, and he went and stood in the corner. And then he went around the corner to another room, came back, and he sat down again, and the carer was still peeling the potato. She just carried on. She didn't say anything to him. She just carried on what she was doing, and he just sat down, did a bit of peeling, got up, stand in the corner, and came back and sat down. Yeah, that is, it's just giving them that trust and control, and little and often, just when they feel like it, just they don't have to do the whole activity. It just,
Yeah.
but he's able to take part in that, that peeling potato.
So slightly lowering that expectation of expecting that people are present for the whole time or complete things, and actually a little of something is
Right.
something to be celebrated.
Yes.
So Naomi is asking, she's saying, sorry, her signal isn't very good, so she can't talk, but she's saying, thank you for your tips. They were great, and it really works for children with all abilities. And she's curious to know about how you think it would also apply to helping children more generally to express themselves and to learn.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
It was a very long question.
I could ask it.
How you think all this would apply to helping children, more generally to express themselves and to learn.
So for, you mean the children who don't have
Yeah, I think children with all
so that's a very good question. Actually, what's happened is it applies to anybody. If you got a partner, use it. If you have a husband, use PCAS. My son, he is 13-year-old. He's 13, and you know what? I have used PCAS. I leave a spoon in the pasta dish, and he goes to me, he wants more pasta, and I've said to him, help yourself. The spoon's in the in the pan. So he helps himself to the pasta, and now what I've did is I label the drawer where the spoons are, and if he wants more, if he wants to help himself to something, and he's like, I don't know where the spoon is, it's there's a label on the drawer with a spoon. So you can use PCAS with children, really, in general. Anybody can use it. Yeah,
that's great. Does anyone have any more questions?
No, but I'll try it. I've got a 4.5-year-old, and I think everything you've said felt like it's actually it's sort of about giving control back, isn't it? And you can, as the adult, do things because it suits you, or because you're rushed for time, or because you think it should turn out a certain way, and actually you're denying the experience of the person who can learn from copying and stuff. Yes. And it's just a lesson, like you've said, you've learned to step back and to see where there can be some inclusion. I do think it's a mindset.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah,
but it's a discipline that I think is easy to slip out of.
There's another question from Naomi. It's just saying that how have you used PCAS to cope with changing rules and routine? So with lockdown, for example, when you couldn't go out, and all the rules and structure change.
So how I use the PCAS?
Yes, and coping with everything changing at the moment.
It's been, for example. Well, it's been very challenging. Last couple of months for me. It's just not able to have access to a lot of things, especially physio, occupational therapy, appointments, and so we have I have been doing more PCAS with Khadija, actually, believe it or not. So I think it helped me a lot as well to do other things. I have also found, I can do other things with her. Like she likes painting, she likes messy play. So it has been really, really good for me as well, able to do those activities with her. But I'm doing it with Khadija. The school have sent a lot of things, activity books and a lot of things, and I think that's what helped me, just keeping myself busy, but doing things with Khadija that she should be doing it in school, but I've been doing them home with her, and I think it's, for me, it's just keeping busy like that.
That's great. It's really interesting as well because it sounds like it allowed you to spend a lot more time with your daughter and to do so much more things with her, and it sounds like like it makes everybody happier in general. It's about the child, and it's also about you as a parent to be able to spend quality time with your child.
Yeah, I mean, I think my time goes by medication, and because she has to have certain amount of protein throughout the day, so it's just, and then a seizure, she has seizures, so I'm always constantly worrying about those things. But during the lockdown, I found myself putting those things aside. I can do other things with her, not just worry about the medical side of things. I did like water play with her. Yes, it was messy, but I found that she loves it. She enjoys it. Yeah.
And how comes you made that change? What allowed you to put aside the obvious anxieties about her medical needs and play with her? What switched it for you?
I think it was the 4 or 5 months of being at home.
Something had to give.
Yeah, it just at the beginning it was I didn't do much with Khadija, and I've noticed that she was just getting bored, and right. We were still at home, and I thought, I can't be sitting like this and worrying. I need to do something with her. So the school sent me a lot of things at home and activities, and I start using those things with her. But like I was saying, it came to a point where I can't see her like that, because I was getting so bored. My son was getting bored. And can you imagine for Khadija, who she can't watch TV, she can't see, so only things she can hear. So I put myself in her shoes, and how would I always talk about PCAS. So how would I feel if I wasn't able to see, and I couldn't walk, and I couldn't, do certain things, a lot of things I wasn't able to do that. How would I feel? How would that make me feel? And I was stuck home for 5 months, or 2, 3 months, 5 months. How would I feel? And I think that moment really hit me, because I was going through that period of time where, I just need to get out. I need to do something. I'm such an active person. I'm feeling like this. It must be really bad for her. She's not able to express that. And I think that's what made me, just do things with her at home.
At what point in the 5 months did that realization really hit, do you think? I'm just interested.
It wasn't straight away. I think it was like a 6-7 weeks.
All right.
Does that answer your question? Because she's been home for that long, and it's been fine. But then it came to a point, it's not as if, I think I might send Khadija to school. We can't do that. We're in a lockdown. We can't do that. So it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my child? And I just really had to do something about it. Think, you know what, I need to put my foot down and put that aside, that worrying, and do a lot of things with her at home.
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to mute myself.
That's great. Thank you so much, Naomi. And she's with another colleague who's called Mandy, and they're saying that's incredible. And thank you for sharing your experience. That's really inspiring and really helpful.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I think if
Thank
we
you.
have any more questions, we might end the session now. So, Elias, thank you so much for sharing all your experience. This is always really good for our parents and carers to hear really first-hand experience of this and hearing little stories, and it makes it all the more kind of relatable, and that's really helpful. So thank you so much. We're gonna put
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.